A very good morning to all of you. Welcome you all in ISFCP dialogue series under the aegis of IQAC, IIC, ISFCP, organized by ISF College of Pharmacy and Autonomous College, Moga, Punjab. Today's chief guest and speaker, Dr. Balak Das Kurmi, Head Department of Quality Assurance, and the title of his talk is Hazards and Safety Management. We welcome you, sir, and request you to proceed further. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Mehan. So I heartily thanks to Dr. Mehan sir, in charge or coordinator IQAC ISFCP pharmacy, for providing me the opportunity on my expert talk. So today we will discuss the hazards and safety management for the student of quality assurance. So without consuming time, we will directly go to the topic. So, hazards, as you know, it is a situation that poses a level of threat to the life, health, and property of environment. Industrial hazards may be defined as any condition produced by industry that may cause injury or death to personnel or loss of the product or property. The accidents in various type of industry like that manufacturing, power production, nuclear reactor, or we can say in our pharma production, and then during the storage and distribution of various hazardous materials used in these industry fall under this category. The risk involved under this category is defined as the chance of death or injury per person per number of hours exposed. The major disaster threats have emerged in the chemical and nuclear industries. The manufacturing, processing, transportation, distribution, or storage, and the application or use of many products of these two areas are hazardous. So this is the type of hazards we can face during the industrial scale, like physical hazards, which will create by noise, vibration, heat, cold, pressure, radiation, etc. Chemical hazards are associated with flammable or explosive materials, toxic agents, sensitizing agent. Sometimes biological hazards seen in the form of dust or pathogens. Sometimes psychologicals, workplace practice and system, payment system, etc. So general hazards we are observing in routine life in the industries are fire hazards, mechanical hazards, electric hazards, chemical hazards, pharmaceutical hazards, radiation hazards, and dust explosion, or maybe some other etc. type of hazards is there. So let's discuss on the fire hazards, and it's the major chances of fire in the industry as well as routine life also. So fire is an exothermic chemical reaction between oxygen and fuels. This is the most frequent of hazards. However, the consequences are generally less. The effect of fire on people usually take the form of skin burns and is usually depend on the exposure of time and the intensity of heats. Fire can also produce toxic fumes like acrolein, carbon monoxide, and cyanides. Physical structure can be damaged either by the intensity of the heat or combustion. It may also have an effect on essential service like power and instrumentation, which can cause an escalation of the incident. So there are number of source of fire hazards, like when we use hot surfaces, combustible and flammable liquids, heat utilization equipment, chemical process equipment, lighting and gas cylinders, and many more where fire may be observed during the application. So, in when we talk about the lab or pharmaceutical industry, ovens and furnaces, reactors, welding and cutting, spark from metal to metal contact, carelessness. So, when we classify the fire hazards, we can generally classify in light or low hazards, ordinary or moderate hazards, extra high hazards on the conditions of the locations, quantity, and combustibility of gas. Okay, so why ignition is occurs or we can say what is the source of fire. The fire triangle we can understand easily by this, by fire triangle. The fire triangle or combustion triangle illustrate the three elements of a fire which need to ignite. Number first heat, number second fuel, then oxidizing agent, usually oxygen from the environment. So a fire naturally occurs when the elements are present and combined in the right mixture, and a fire can be prevented or extinguished by removing any one of the element in the fire triangle. For example, covering a fire with a fire blanket which ensures the supply of oxygen. It is the part of triangle and can extinguish a fire. And that in this circumstances we can cut out the fuel availability or cut out the ignition availability or heat. So we can reduce the or stop the fire ignition. So, by the National Fire Protection Association, we can say NFPA, categorize fire by class, because on the basis of material, the fire may be of different type. The relevant graphics and related designations that accompany these class are specified by NFPA 10, the standard for portable fire extinguisher. So let's discuss about class A fire. On the basis of class, we can use the fire extinguisher or fire protection system. So class A fire, which involve the solid material of organic nature such as wood, paper, cloth, rubber, and plastic that do not melt, or we can say these type of material when ignite in the presence of oxygen and heat. So this will make the class A fire. Then go about the class B fire, which involve the liquid. They include petrol, diesel, thinners, oil paint, bags, cooking fat, etc. Or for plastic, or that is melt. So these are the symbol of different class of fire. Class A fire, we can say, in which the materials are include. In class B fire, some solvents are responsible for the ignition of fire. Class C fires involve electricity, or we can say class C fire for C for current. So we will easily understand the fire involve the electricity. D fire involve flammable metals such as magnesium, aluminium, titanium, sodium, and potassium. When metal are involved for the for ignition, so this will classify in class D. And class F fire by cooking gas or some fat material or etc. Sorry. So, after understanding the fire source and fire theory, we will discuss about the fire extinguisher. On which type of fire, which type of extinguisher to be used. Number one, water fire extinguisher. So when water is used, so we can say the cheapest and most widely used fire extinguisher. It is used for class A fire and not suitable for class B fire or where electricity is involved. So we will remain in mind that fire water fire extinguisher is only used for class A fire. Number second, foam fire extinguisher. It is more expensive than water but more versatile. This is used for class A and class B fire both. Foam spray extinguishers are not recommended for fire involving electricity, but these are safer than water if inadvertently sprayed onto live electrical apparatus. Number third, dry powder fire extinguisher, often termed the multi-purpose extinguisher, as it can be used on class A, B, and C fire. So definitely they will this will cut out the supply of oxygen and waste for running liquid fire. Will efficiently extinguish class C gas fire, but be aware it can be dangerous to extinguish a gas fire without first isolating the gas supply. Special powders are available for class D metal fires. So there is a warning with the use of dry fire extinguisher. When used indoor, powder can obscure vision or damage goods and machinery, and it is also very messy. Sorry. Third type of carbon dioxide fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide is ideal for fire involving electric apparatus and will also extinguish class B liquid fire, but has no post fire security and the fire could reignite. Number fourth, bad chemicals, specialist extinguisher for class F fire, or sometimes we can classify it in class K fire for fat and uh, cooking oils fire. For metal fire, a specialist fire extinguisher for used on class D fire. Metal fire such as sodium, lithium, manganese, and aluminium when in the form of syrup or turnings. Color coding prior to 1st Jan 1997, the code of practice for fire extinguisher in the UK was BS 5423, which advised the color coding of fire extinguisher, which is as follows: water, red, foam, cream, and dry powder, blue. So carbon dioxide is black, halon green. Now it is illegal except for few expectation such as police, armed force, and aircrafts. New extinguisher should confirm the BSEN 3, which require that the entire body of extinguisher be colored red. A zone of color of up to 5% of the external area can be used to identify the content using the old color coding shown above. Fire detection equipment. Smoke and fire detection equipment is an integral part of any building safety. When working properly, they alert the occupants in the
Yes, sir. Continue. We are
sir.
listening.
Okay, I think net is not working.
Your net is working. Continue. Please continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, smoke and fire detection equipment. Smoke and fire detection equipment is an integral part of any building safety when working properly. They alert the occupants in a building of a fire before it spread, giving them enough time to evacuate. This type of equipment comes in many forms: heat detectors, smoke detectors, flame detectors, and CO gas detectors. Type of fire detection equipments: detectors. Unlike other type of alarm system, heat detectors are early warning device. These devices are typically found in spot with fixed temperature, including heater, clusters, small rooms, and kitchen facilities. They should not be installed in area with fluctuating ambient temperature. This is because the alarm on heat detector is set to go off if there is a rise in the temperature. Flame detectors, like their name suggested, these detectors are used to detect flames. When working properly, they detect fire nearly at the point of ignition. They are very useful for building involving with hazardous process, as well as gas and oil refineries and manufacturing industry. Smoke alarms are designated to detect fire quickly, like flame detectors. This is fire detection equipment. So fire detection equipment containing a fire alarm system has a number of devices working together to detect and warn people through visual and audio appliances when smoke, fire, carbon monoxide, or other emergencies are present. These alarms may be activated automatically from smoke detector and heat detectors, or may also be activated by a manual fire alarm activation device such as manual call points or police stations. Alarms can be either motorized bell or ball mountable sounders or horns. They can also be speaker stop based sound and alarms, followed by a voice evacuation message which warn people inside the building not to use the elevators. Fire alarm sounders can be set to certain frequencies and different tones, including low, medium, and high, depending on the country and manufacturer of the device. Most fire alarm system in Europe sounds like a siren with alerting frequencies. Fire alarm sounders in the United States and Canada can be either continuous or set to different codes such as code 3. Fire alarm warning device can also be set to different volume levels. Smaller buildings may have the alarm set to a lower volume, and larger building may have alarms set to a higher level. Sir, please confirm I am audible. Sir, please confirm I am audible.
Yes, Balak sir. Hello. Yes, Balak sir. Please continue.
Okay. Firefighting and extinguisher techniques. In the firefighting and extinguisher technique, although these is the topic of unrelated, but we can some types of small level of fire pumps are required to be in situ when the water supply by a local authority does not provide adequate pressure to meet the hydraulic design requirement of a fire sprinkler, that is personal of industry fire pumps. So a fire pump operate when the pressure within a fire sprinkler system drop below a certain threshold, such as when a fire sprinkler head activates and discharges water. The type of fire pumps used within fire sprinkler system include horizontal split case, vertical split case, vertical inline, vertical turbine, and end suctions. A jockey pump is a small pump connected to a fire sprinkler system and is intended to maintain pressure in a fire protection piping system to an artificially high level to avoid false alarms being caused from unnecessary sprinkler pump activation. The jockey pump is essentially a portion of fire pump control system. Although this topic is related to HVAC system of the industry, so I am giving just the introductory part, or this is related to the engineering part of any industry of any organization. Water storage tank. The use of buildings can vary considerably. A building may be used as a storage facility or may have its own storage area. And the building usage and storage all have a bearing on what is known as the hazards classification, which is determination of level of fire hazards. In accordance to the determined hazards classification of building, a fire sprinkler system has to be able to deliver a specific amount of water over a designed area. If the available water flow and pressure provided to a building by the local water authority is below a required criteria and not adequate to fulfill requirements, a water storage tank can be installed for the supply of water for fire protection. A water storage tank remains filled with the desired level of water through the wall float valve, which is connected to the local authority water supply. In the events of a fire, water may be drawn from these tanks by specifically designed fire pumps and subsequently pumped at high pressure into a fire sprinkler system. House and house fitting. A close-up of hose coupling used with pneumatic drills and jackhammers. A hose coupling is a connector on the end of a hose to connect or couple it with another hose or with a tap of a hose appliances such as an irrigation sprinkler. It is used made of steel, brass, stainless steel, aluminium, or plastic. Dry riser system, dry fire, main water supply pipe installed in the building for firefighting process, fitted with inlet connection at fire service access level and landing valve at specified points, which is normally dry, but it is capable of being charged with water, usually by pumping from fire and rescue service appliances. Wet riser system, wet fire, man water supply pipe installed in a building for firefighting purpose and permanently charged with water from a pressurized supply and fitted with landing valve at a specified point where fire are installed, and there are no floor higher than 50 meter above fire service. Access level wet or dry fire may be installed. Where there are floor higher than 50 meters above fire service access level, wet fire men should be installed into the process required to provide adequate firefighting water supply at the landing valve at upper floors, and also to ensure that water is immediately available at all floor levels. And the next is automatic sprinklers. A fire sprinkler system is an active fire protection method consisting of a water supply system providing adequate pressure and flow rate to a water distribution piping system onto which sprinklers are connected. Although historically only used in factories and large commercial buildings, systems for home and small buildings are now available effective price. Fire sprinkler systems are extensively used worldwide with over 40 million sprinkler head fitted each year in buildings completely protected by fire sprinkler system. Over 96% of fire were controlled by fire sprinkler system alone. So there is no specific requirement, but the regulatory agencies will ask only for fire system or fire extinguisher system. Means of escape, how to escape the people in the urgency condition. Fire escape, a fire escape is a specially kind of emergency exit, usually mounted to the outside of a building or occasionally inside, but separate from the main area of the building. It provides a method of escape in the event of a fire or other emergency that make the stair bells inside a building inaccessible. Fire escape are most often found on multiple story residential buildings such as apartment building. At one time, they were a very important aspect of fire safety for all new constructions in urban areas. More recently, they have fallen out of common use. This is due to improved building code incorporating fire detector, technologically advanced firefighting equipment, which include better communication and the reach of firefighting ladder trucks. And more importantly, fire sprinkles, the international building codes and other authorities agencies have incorporated fire sprinklers into multi-story building below 15 story and not just skyscrapers. Fire doors is a door with a fire resistance rating, sometimes referred as a fire protection rating for closures used as part of a passive fire protection system to reduce the spread of fire and smoke between separate compartments of a structure and to enable safe exit from a building or structure or ship. Water curtains. Water curtain system is one of the active fire suppression system. Active fire suppression system means it become active only when there is a fire. As the name itself defines, it forms a curtain to prevent spread of smoke, heat, flame from fire captured area to no fire area. Sorry. So, second type of hazard we can face during the industrial scale is electrical hazard and uh, commercial or either in personal level also. The electrical hazards are categorized into three types. The first type and most recognized hazard is electrical shock. The second type of hazards is electrical ones. The third is the effects of blast, which include pressure impact, flying particles from vaporized conductors, and first breath consideration. So electrical hazard are caused by following reasons, which include contacting overhead power lines, fault insulation, improper grounding, loose connection, defective parts, ground faults in equipment, unguarded live parts, failure to de-energize electric equipment when it is being repaired or inspected, international use of obviously defective and unsafe tools, use of tools or equipment to close or energized part, and many more, which is cause the electrical accidental hazards. So there is some suggestions for protection and prevention from electrical hazards. So insulation, as we know, glass, mica, rubber, and plastics are put on conductors to prevent shock, fire, and short circuits, and make the insulation coating on the electric. Guarding live parts of equipment operating at 50 volts or more must be guarded against accidental contact. Grounding conductor body or earth by grounding a tool or electrical system offers low resistance and sufficient current carrying capacity. Circuit protection device automatically limits or shut off the flow of electricity in the events of a ground faults, overload, or short circuit in the wire system, for example, fuses or circuit breakers. Safe work practice and training for the on the electrical aspects. So next, we will discuss on mechanical hazards. There exist as a several mechanical system in the accelerator complex that could have potential hazards associated with them. If they were to fail, failure of any mechanical system could lead to implosion in vacuum chamber or explosion in gas or liquid pipes. Other mechanical hazards may exist from machine shop tools, metal grindings, industrial vehicles, etc. So mechanical hazards is by different type of agents, impact force, collisions, falls from height, stuck by objective, confined space, slips and trips. So there are some safety measurement to reduce the mechanical hazards. All machinery must be finished or mechanical interlocking or photo cells. Machine should be fitted with emergency shutdown system. Control system override should be monitored. Trunky system for cleaning and for repairing. Operator must have a safe distance from the machine, strictly following the SOP as per the pharma student. The following of SOP is very important character, and when we follow the SOP or standard operating procedure for every instrument or anything, we will never face any accident or hazards. Stop and lock button for machines. So there are some preventive measures for mechanical hazards. It includes building planning. Floor must be non-slippery, enough space to move easily, easy access of worker to the safety switch. Safe material handling. All material handling equipment should be repaired and maintained properly. Personal protective device. Protection of head by using head huts and helmets, ear by using ear muffs and plugs, face by using face masks, etc. So next category we are generally facing with the pharmaceuticals and other companies is chemical hazards. So chemical hazards are generally we can describe as toxic, corrosive, irritant or carcinogenic, flammable and mutagenic materials which is exposed to the personnel. According to WHMIS Workplace Hazardous Material Information, chemically hazards are classified as class A, compressed gas, dissolved gas, or liquefied gas. Class B, flammable gas, flammable and combustible gas, flammable solids, flammable aerosols, reactive flammable materials. Class C contain the oxidizing materials, oxidizer and organic peroxides. Oxidizer include the chlorates, nitric oxide, peroxide, permanganates, perchlorates, nitrites, nitrates, easily oxide metals powder like that sodium. organic peroxide, tetrahydrofuran, diethyl ether, dioxane, methyl isobutyl ether. So when we face these type of chemical, we should cautions to exposure of this type of materials. Class D include the poisonous and infectious material like that cyanide, tea salts, asbestos, etc. Class E contain the corrosive materials, example inorganic acid and base, hydrogen, fluorides. Class F contain the dangerous reactor materials like ethylene oxide, organic azide, sodium, lithium, calcium, pyrophosphoric materials, example white phosphorus, diethyl aluminum, chloride, lithium. So these are the some effects of chemicals on exposure to the personnel like skin burns, headache, anthrax, ulcer in hands, nose, etc. Cancer on longer exposure, irritation on windpipe. Many chemicals can cause severe burns if they come in contact with living tissue. Living tissue may be destroyed by some reaction like the dehydration by strong dehydrating agent, digestion by strong acid and base, oxidation by strong oxidizing agent, and many more other reason also involved in the exposure of chemicals. So we can consider some preventive measure for that. Solvent used in extraction, purification of synthetic drugs and chemical analysis should be handled with care. Flammable and explosive chemicals should be kept at proper distance. Tolerance level for toxic chemicals set by federal regulation have to be followed. Suitable label to the chemical for proper handling, personal protective clothes, application of cream before commencement of work, and use of goggles or some extra safety from the chemical exposures. So next we can consider or which is important for our QA student is pharmaceuticals hazards. Some general health hazards in manufacture of pharmaceuticals includes dust and noise exposure, exposure to UV radiation, exposure to formaldehyde, repetitive motion disorder, in which formaldehyde may cause lung cancer, prostate cancer, acute exposure may cause pulmonary edema and pneumonia leading to death, which is also cause allergic dermatitis. Repetitive motion disorder associated with packing and filling could lead to carpal tunnel syndrome or tendonitis. Hazards from handling crude drugs and its extracts, ipecacuanha, solvent exposure like benzene, alkaloid, scopolamine, emetine, toxic or intermediate toxic, final products like that, local anesthetics. So when we talk about the pharmaceuticals hazard, although the regulatory agencies take the consideration to avoid these type of hazards, but proper training and proper caring should be imposed during the pharmaceutical production. And so industrial safety is primarily a management activity which is concerned with the reducing, controlling and eliminating hazards from the industry or industrial unit. As we discuss as per quality assurance in pharmaceuticals, the this is we set out the parameter or GMP parameter by the regulatory authority to reduce the industrial hazards or increase the industrial safety manner. Also, industrial safety is the ability to measure the risk inherent to operation or related to the environment. Industrial safety is not a dislike of risk, rather it is a commitment to clearly identify them in relation to production operation, access them in terms of quality and quantity, and manage them. For total, that means in practical terms, regularly looking at how risk management is addressed at the company's facilities and how much progress the company has made in its action plan to reduce them. Total is exposed to three type of risk related to the products that we use or make, risk related to the process and equipment used in our operations, transportation risk related to our operations. So there are some importance of industrial safety which reduce the danger of life of human being increasing with advancement of specific development in different fields. The importance of industrial safety was realized because every millions of industrial accidents occur, which results in either death or in temporary displacement or permanent disablement of employee, and involve large amount of losses resulting from danger to property, wasted man hours and wasted hours. For managerial prospects, the importance of industrial safety in any organization may be concluded by following facilitation: treatment. Industrial safety management provide treatment for injuries and illness at the workplace. Medical examination, it is carried out by medical personnel and staff joining the organization or returning to work after sickness or accidents. Hazard identification, provision of protective device, consultancy which provide medical advice on other conditions potentially affecting health, work safety, education, or we can say training. It provides safety and health training. So there are some sort of objectives of industrial hazard which in keeping in mind to prevent accident in the plant by reducing the hazards to minimum, to eliminate accident caused work stoppage and lost production, to achieve lower workman compensation insurance rates and reduce all other direct and indirect cost of accident, to prevent loss of life, permanent disability, and the loss of income of workers by eliminating cause of accident, to evaluate employee moral by promoting safe workplace and good working conditions, to educate all members of the organization in continuous safe state of safety maintenance, and to make supervision competent and the intensely safely minded. So a safety program include mainly following 4E that should be keep in mind: engineering, how to engineers or engineering department work with the premises or the industry, safety at the design and equipment installation stage, education, we can say training, education of employee in the safe practice, or we can train the employee for the safe practice. Enlistment is concerned the attitude of the employee and management toward the program and its purposes. It is necessary to arouse the interest of employee in accident prevention and safety consciousness, encouragement to enforce adherence to safe rule and practices. So industrial safety system is a countermeasure crucial in any hazardous plants such as oil and gas plants and nuclear plant. They are used to protect human plant and environment in case the process goes beyond the controlled margin. As the name suggests, these systems are not intended for controlling the process itself, but rather protection. Process control is performed by means of process control and is interlocked by the safety system so that immediate action are taken if the process control system fail. Process control and safety systems are usually merged under one system called integrated control and safety system. Industrial safety system typically use dedicated systems that are SIL2 certified at minimum, where control system can start with SIL1. SIL applies to both hardware and software equipment such as card, processor, redundancy, and botting functions. So there are some type of industrial safety system which include process safety system or process shutdown system PSS and safety shutdown system. This include emergency shutdowns and emergency depressurization system, EDS. Emergency shutdown system may also be redefined in terms of ESD EDP level as EDC ESD level 1 in charge of general plant area shutdown can activate ESD level 2 in the process industrial plant. ESD level 2, this level isolates individual ESD zone and activates, if necessary, the EDP. ESD level 3 produce liquid inventory contaminant. Triple S, the safety shutdown system. shut down the facilities to a safe state in case of an emergency situation, thus protecting personnel, the environment, and the assets. The safety shutdown system shall manage all inputs and outputs related to emergency shutdown function, environment, and personal protection. This system might also be fed by signals from the main fire and the gas system. So FGS, the main objective of fire and gas system are to protect personal environment and plants, including equipment and infrastructure. The FGS shall achieve these objectives by detecting at an early stage the presence of flammable gas, detecting at an early stage the liquid spill and emergence of fire, providing automatic or facility for manual activation of the fire protection system as required, initiating environmental change to keep liquid below their flash point, initiating signal both audible and visible as required to warn the detect hazards, initiating automatic shutdown of equipment and ventilation if two out of two or two out of three detectors are triggered, or initiating the exhaust system. So due to closing of ESD valve in the process, there may be some trapped flammable fluids, and these must be released in order to avoid any undesired consequences such as pressure increase in vessels and piping. For this, emergency depressurization system are used in conjugation with the ESD system to release or to safe location and a safe manner such as trapped floods. PSB, pressure safety valve, or PSB, or mechanical device that are usually used as a final safety solution when all previous system fails to prevent any further pressure accumulation and protect vessel from rupture due to the overpressure. So, uh, thank you, sir, for providing me opportunity. And for further any suggestion, you can contact ISF College of Pharmacy in the following address. Thank you, sir, for providing
Thank
me
you.
opportunity. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Balak Das. Thank you very much for providing this excellent information regarding fire measurements and their utilization in quality assurance and in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. We are very thankful to all listeners to join us. If you have any query, please mail your query in the box of YouTube inbox and visit our website www.isfcp.org. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.